Good afternoon from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. The famous sign erected in 1959. As we look high above the Las Vegas Strip, city of Las Vegas, about 2.2 million people, but millions and millions come from around the world to see sights like this. The Hoover Dam, which was built in 1936. Lake Mead running through to the Colorado River. A few hours away, but we're here in Las Vegas in the Orleans Arena, the 361 World Men's Curling Championship 2018. It is session 16 as we have Germany taking on Japan, our feature game. Luke Coley with the one, the only two-time Olympian, world champion, and Swiss helm.
Good afternoon, Luke.
Well, playoff positions on the line. Trying to get into positioning for qualification. We'll get through. Let's take a chance now and meet these two teams that are playing in our feature matchup. For Germany, the lead, Sebastian Schweizer. Second, Ryan Sherrard. Third and vice skip, Daniel Herberg. And the skip, Alexander Baumann. They'll take on Japan and their lead, Yutaka Aoyama. Their second, Ryotaro Shakuya. Skip throwing third stones, Masaki Awai. And their fourth stone thrower, Go Aoki. Here's the standings coming into this session as we have three teams qualified. Scotland, Sweden, Canada all into the playoffs already with just one loss. Then Norway lurking at 6-4 behind Russia, 5-3. Switzerland and Korea both 5 losses. Then just on the outside looking in, need to win. China, Italy, Netherlands 3-6. USA 2-6. Japan and Germany round out the field, playing for positioning. And qualification will get through that throughout this entire game. Of course, session 16, we are on sheet A, our feature game. Germany takes on Japan. While on sheet B, it's Italy taking on the USA, both 6-loss teams. On sheet C, Canada takes on China. And on sheet D, Sweden, 8-1 takes on Russia, 5-3. And that sets the table here for session 16, an afternoon as we listen to the Japanese anthem. Well, each team gets honored, and today was Japan in the afternoon. They get a chance to get a memento.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tradition at the World Championship to honor each of the 13 nations that are here. And it's Japan's turn this afternoon as they head over to sheet A and their really key game against Germany this afternoon. These teams may sit near the bottom of the overall standings, but make no mistake, they are playing for everything. New rules in place this year, 13 teams at the World Championship, and next year, the team that finishes last year, their entire zone loses an automatic spot to the World Championship. And it would still be available to them, but they would have to go through a world qualification event. And nobody wants to have to face that kind of question mark in their long-range planning for athletes, for teams, for their competitive programs. So there's still a ton of pressure, although the playoffs are likely, if not absolutely out of reach for these teams. It's still vitally important for them to not finish in the bottom of the standings.
Well, Go Aoki and this Japanese team come in. They have that 2 wins over China and Netherlands. Germany's lone win coming against Netherlands. So both have beat the Dutch team. As we get set for session 16, we'll keep you up to date. All the other games going on, of course, all 4 sheets in play. So we see Germany with the red stones, Japan with the yellow. And it is Japan who will start with the hammer. So as Germany has been mixing up their lineups, their alternate coming in, he's now playing lead, Sebastian Schweizer, 37-year-old.
Germany has tried a couple of different lineups. they are definitely looking for the perfect combination. They have been close in so many games. They just have not been able to close out wins. You know, they're a very streaky skip in Alexander Bauman. He can make amazing shots and then disappear a little bit on the team. So they're looking for the right combination in front of him to make his shots as routine and simple as possible. As Yutaka Aoyama, he gets the privilege of throwing the first stone for Team Japan. And Japan's got the hammer this afternoon. That means they've got that last stone advantage. And that's really vital to the tactical advantage in the game of curling. And Japan got that last stone advantage by virtue of what's called a last stone draw. It is a challenge competition that happens before the game, just after a team's practice. Two players throw a draw, both sides of the ice to the center of the button, and whoever is closest gets the hammer.
Well, this is Sebastian's 4th trip to a World Championship. He's the alternate in Edmonton last year. Lead twice before that. Way back in 2003, competing as the lead in Winnipeg. And you remember that year.
Winnipeg. I believe I played in Winnipeg. What a great curling city. What a great championship that was. So the German team has a ton of experience. Really up and down the lineup, they've got lots of international experience. This team from Japan, this is their very first international event. It's the first time this team has played outside of Japan. And you can see with every game, they are getting better and better and more comfortable out there. And look at that great draw from their lead, setting things up for the skip.
So around those guards, Ryan Sherrard, 31-year-old.
Herberg and Schweizer are working this so hard, really sweeping end to end, and this rock has a great line. You can see how it was arcing right towards the Japanese stone in the rings, but comes up well short. Good news for those guys in their work. They do have full command of the front of the rings. They can use those rocks to run it back. They might be able to make Team Japan's life a little difficult.
Ryotaro Shukuya, 22-year-old, only been curling for 4 years, and here at the World Championship played fairly well at that second position.
Yeah, if there's any kind of drop in his game, it is these early draws. He has had a little bit of difficulty managing the speed of the ice in the beginning of the game. He's been heavy and then light, and his opening rock in his last game was heavy, and this one comes up light, but it's in a good spot. That's a corner guard for Japan, and they might be able to get over to that at some point. It is early in the end.
No, take out. Then take out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Like that?
Yeah. It's a good shot. Yeah. If we make it, position is perfect.
They like the call, and if we make it, it's even better.
Yeah, it really is. So this little angle run back takeout for Ryan Sherrard. An opportunity for Germany to use that control position in front of the rings to their advantage. Do they have the angle?
Oh, it just goes by. Ryan Sherrard, born in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, now lives in Munich, playing in his second World Championship, representing Germany.
And now it's time for the second from Japan to utilize that rock he had just thrown. He's going to try and hide this one behind. They were sweeping for line at the beginning, and now it's for weight. Drag that rock as far as they can, and they absolutely dead bury that behind the corner guard. What a great shot. Fantastic communication back and forth, up and down the sheet of ice for Japan. And that's the situation facing Germany.
Well, Daniel Herberg, no stranger to the World Championship. Played in his first 25 years ago. Try and slash this one back, keep the shooter there. Just comes out the open. As we see the rules of play, 6 ends minimum must be played. They're each given 38 minutes of thinking time and then 1 60-second timeout. Where you'll actually see their coach come down if they want, if they need to at that point, to talk about a strategy or any other thing they really want to talk about.
Yeah, and teams only get to do that once. It's a pretty interesting setup in a team sport where a coach cannot actively participate in the evolution of the game and the use and implementation of the tactics. Most sports, you see the coach, as we see Masaki Iwai get his first stone underway. This super heavy double run, takeout.
Actually touched their own. Still shot stone on the wide side.
Yeah, got a lot of granite moving on that one. Yeah, most team sports coaches have a lot of active input throughout the play. In curling, it's up to the 4 players on the sheet of ice.
Daniel, 44 years old, playing since he was 10 and trying to go to the wide side. Get by, and they'll get by. And get a big roll on that one, right to the back of the forefoot. So to lie 1-2.
Look at how close this is to that rock. Wow. It's a pretty big sweep to hold the line on that one.
So wide open. Masaki Iwai to try and make this roll.
And they can roll either direction. They can roll the short side underneath that center guard. Oh, and this just over curls on them. But again, that sets up in an okay spot. Even if Germany hits and sticks here, Japan's got a draw to sit 1 under cover and put some pressure on Baumann.
Put Germany in a position to get a force here, or to skip stones. Alexander Baumann. Playing in his 3rd straight World Championship. Gets the nose hit.
So it's all about the skip stones for Japan.
Well, the youngster, the 18-year-old, Go Aoki. He's become a fan favorite here in Las Vegas too. People see him very recognizable throughout, obviously in the hotel, not the casino. He's not of age to be in the casino. Here at the curling rink, he's made a lot of great shots so far.
It's about weight. This is going to curl. They have to believe it's going to curl. It's about having the right weight, get it underneath. That's a nice opening shot for Go Aoki. Forces Baumann to play the draw and freeze down onto their stone. That's one of the most enjoyable things about watching this Japanese team. When they smile, they laugh, they love being out there. They love putting the stones in play, the challenges of it, the challenges of putting out tactics, testing different angles and shot selection. And they have a great time out there.
Trying to follow it down. That one just behind the T-line can get shot stone.
So look at that start to curl. You can see it bending towards the center line. Just a ton of finish here. Weight looks really good.
That's good, Alex. Okay. Good.
Real nice sit, side of the button. Did he move it enough that there's a little bit of an opening to try and score two?
There might be. And we saw that one takeout there of Iwai's hit and roll across that center line to the back corner. So there is some movement available there. So he's decided he can't see quite enough of it, doesn't really trust the line, so Skip Iwai trusts his fourth stone shooter, Aoki, to draw this stone down onto the button.
Didn't look like there was quite enough. I really like the decision for Japan. Now need the execution right down to it. Well, got to come down, roll off a little bit, and we'll get their single point. So Japan, nice shot from Go Aoki to get this game started. A single point. They lead Germany 1-0 after one.
Everybody welcome here in Las Vegas. Minions and humans alike.
No one dresses up here in Las Vegas as we play the second end 3-6-1 World Men's Curling Championship. Japan taking on Germany, our feature game. A nice draw from Go Aoki. Draw in for a single point. They'll draw in again to start off this second end.
Yeah, and if that opening end was any indication, we had a bunch of rocks in play. Great shots from both skips. It's going to be quite the battle here between Japan and Germany.
2, 3, 3. Linie, sehr gut.
Ja, geht viel rum.
Schön, Seth. Gut.
Corner guard goes out in front. We'll see Germany try and utilize that here in this second end of play.
Okay, nice shot.
Nice shot.
Well, tight to the rings.
Beautiful position there, and as that rock is outside the rings, outside that scoring area called the house, it cannot be removed from play yet. It's in the free guard zone. Great use of that by Team Japan.
Von 4. Raus. Linie ist
Sebastian
gut.
Weiser.
Linie ist gut.
Drauf, ja, Ende.
Linie. Länge ist gut. Linie ist gut. Linie ist gut. Maybe you. Ja, Linie. Ja, right. Oh, zur Länge.
Linie gut.
We're there. We're there. Yep. 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 Ja, 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 ja. Ja, ja, ja. Very nice. Good.
So very nice freeze right back on top. Great lead stones here in the second end.
Yeah, they're pretty textbook.
Look over Sweden and Russia. Sweden had clinched a playoff spot. Nicholas Edin 8-1. Winners this morning against China and have a hit to score 2 against Russia, who trying to make the playoffs for the first time at a world championship. Nose hit for Nicholas Edin, and he's good for that. So an early score of 2 for Sweden. They lead Russia by that margin after one end of play.
Russia's got, and
We'll go Canada, China now as well. Another team that's qualified for the playoffs. It looks like it is Canada right on the side of the button. They shot delicate chance to try and play the tap. Trying to score 2. One of the few times this week Canada hasn't started with the hammer. True Deja trying to come down, keep their chances of the playoffs alive, but chip roll off, make sure they get their 1, and an early 1-0 lead. Well, while we went there, there's movement clearing up the center line. But still, Japan lying 1.
yeah, Germany made a nice attempt at the double in front of the rings.
Okay.
Very nice.
And picked that right across the top.
Martin Weiser, the German coach, watching on. He's been busy putting in a different lineup, as you see Manuel Walter, their 3rd on the roster coming in. He's on the bench today. Keep moving him out. This is the first game he hasn't played.
Yeah, and again, that's really all about Germany looking for that ideal combination. All 5 of the players that are here with these teams are usually just excellent players. It's all about timing, energy, communication, and Germany looking for that perfect combination by bringing Ryan Sherrard in at second.
JD Lind working with this team, trying to help grow their game and grow depth of curling in Japan. Obviously, Yusuke Morizumi has had some impressive runs at the World Championships in the last few years. 4th in 2016.
Yeah, and in speaking to JD before this game, he's hasn't had a ton of time working with this team that's here at the World Championship, but it's given him access to a couple of really young, wonderful players in Go Aoki and Ryotaro Shikuya.
Yeah, pretty raw players still, but they show great ability and great promise with their game already here at a World Championship. A couple of wins.
Yeah, and when we talk about young, Go Aoki, their 4th stones thrower is the youngest player in the field. He's 18 years old and a high school student. And he's going up against the likes of 44-year-old Daniel Erberg, who's got several Olympic Games and multiple World Championship experiences under his belt. And Go Aoki holding his own and holding the broom for his skip.
We'll put it this way. Daniel Herberg's first Worlds were before Shikuya and Aoki were born in 1993.
Yeah. So a quick change of turns, and nope, they go back. Very clean slide and delivery there by Iwai. It's in that straighter spot along the board side here on sheet A that has tricked several teams, and he didn't overthrow that. It's just a function of believing how straight that one spot is there.
Okay.
Not happy. Remember, they went back and forth on the broom choice, which turn to play.
Yeah. Okay.
So corner guard now full in play here for Germany to try and use.
Länge ist gut. Länge gut. Linie ist gut. Länge ist sehr gut. Right.
This will curl so hard once it gets over that center line. It's straight going the other way. It's usually very curly going this way.
Ryan saying,
okay. Sorry, I touched the rock when it was coming into the house here. No, I burned that rock just when it was coming to the house. Okay.
well, being honest, and Japan says, you know what, we'll just leave it there. The sportsmanship.
Yeah, so that's another kind of unique set of circumstances that face these athletes in the sport of curling. A burned stone, it's a fouled stone, so you cannot touch a running stone in any way. How the rule is handled is you can confess that you've done it. You own up, just like Ryan Sherrard did. Great on him for doing that. And then now it's up to Team Japan, the non-offending team in this situation, to decide what happens to that rock. And they've got a couple of things they can do. They can pull it from play. They can move it to where they think it would have gone. Or they can leave it where it lies. And that is what Team Japan decided to do there, is leave that rock where it ended.
And they'll make it go away anyway on this one.
And it's a tough situation when a stone is burnt like that, because, again, it is the non-offending team's responsibility to decide the outcome. It's a lot of pressure. Both of those teams handled that situation as well as possible.
Well, they also have to deal with the language barrier, and some players not to, obviously German language, Japanese, using English as sort of a
Yeah, traditionally English
line.
is the default language. The rule book is published in English.
Gotta go.
So it's about when it crosses the center line here.
Gonna sneak it past that yellow one. Just touches it. They got off of that and tried to freeze the top one.
Yeah, possibly, but you needed to be shot. You have to force Japan to deal with it. And here it is. Here's that line. It's bending so hard. They're trying to hold it straight, tuck it around the yellow one. Comes up, ticks it a little bit, and Bowen, an expressive skip.
Well, they get to it, but they don't make the big roll they're hoping for.
But still, it's a solid enough situation for Japan that they have successfully forced Germany to a single point. So, nice shot by Goeoki.
By sitting there, 8 foot wide open here for Germany to try and tie this game up. Force in the first by Germany against Japan with the hammer, and Japan's doing the same right back to him here in the second.
Looks okay. Looks good. Laying good.
Well, got to make sure they get this one into the 8 foot.
Show, Alex.
Yeah, no problem there for Baumann and Germany. They get their single right back. So we are 1-1 through 2 ends of play. It's session 16 from Las Vegas.
Oh, wieder vorne 4? Oder wollen wir Guard?
Noch sehen, was rauskommt. Ich glaube, wenn wir vorne 4 Games. Also wir probieren es wieder.
Viel Erfolg.
Gut Luck, Sebastian. Kommt mein Spitzname wieder zurück.
Schweizer.
Well, here in the Orleans Arena, it's the 361 World Men's Curling Championship. Luke Coley and Swiss Helm here with you for our feature game. Germany taking on Japan. Both teams forced to a single point through 2 ends. So, an 8-end game. Japan does have the hammer to start this end, to play this third.
Yeah, and the teams have been trying to set up using that last stone advantage, and Japan will go for it again. Oh, they changed their minds. They went from a corner to the takeout. And Aoyama sets this one out a little bit. It's got quite a bit of weight. It should curl here right at the end and move over to the wing.
The other one came up quite a bit to actually make the hit, roll off to the side. Sebastian Schweizer, very upright in his delivery.
I was just going to say that his delivery, he is very high. His hips are high out of the hack. And you'll see a variety of different deliveries from these players. A curling slide and release is a lot like a golf swing. It's unique to your flexibility, where your power is, where your speed is.
And a good look, the difference there by the Japanese lead, much lower. And each player different comfort. Obviously, being higher, it's a tougher balance point. As we'll look at Sweden, Russia, and a couple of Swedish stones in there right now, leading 2-0. Timofeev and this Russian side coming in at 5-3, trying to knock off Sweden. Help solidify a possible playoff spot, get by the front, try and make the hit and a roll, maybe a double, but it's just the single point stolen there for Sweden, as he couldn't jump that one over to even get one. So Russia trails 3-0 after 2.
Yeah, so on our feature sheet, talking about some of these deliveries, you're going to notice very different types of release points, depth in their slides. And if you watch what the trailing leg does, it is different for each player.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it seems almost every different player on each of these teams, very different nuances, tendencies in their slide. Whereas you look at a team like China, they're very textbook, very similar to one another.
Yeah, and that might speak to, you know, this German team, say, it's a variety of ages, experiences, and also where they're originally from. We talked about Ryan Sherrard being from Canada originally. He was taught probably something very different than Daniel Erberg was taught, you know, 30 years ago. So, you know, it's unique to each of these players. The job of the skip is to manage those releases. So here's a very low, kind of aggressive forward with his head delivery.
Get a little roll onto the rings as we trade hits.
Nice shot there by Shikuya. So here's going to be a very different type of delivery. So Daniel Erberg, his release on this counterclockwise rotating, tons of rotation. You see a lot of action from his wrist and elbow as he releases that rock. He gets minimum 4 or 5 rotations down the sheet almost every time.
And that'll be different for how a skip actually ices the puts the broom down.
Yeah, so with that amount of rotation, Daniel can actually hit a lot less of the rock than another player and get, or hit more of a rock and get more action off with his shooter, more roll. So Iwai Masaki Iwai, he is very low to the ice. And makes a nice little hit and roll right to the center. And using that very delicate weight over there on the straight side. What a nice adjustment for Iwai.
Yeah, and you're going to different spots in the house, so it's not the same hit every single time for your opponent. You're forcing them to change it up, see a different spot in the ice. As this one make the hit right down the center of the sheet.
Nice.
Bishop winning for you. Good. It's be an easy game for you if every shot's like that.
So now it's Iwai's turn to play this kind of routine takeout. Sweepers are going real hard on this. And that's why he didn't have very much of the object rock. Ends up hitting just a corner of it and rolling out of play.
A big sweep by the Japanese side. Obviously, a little more room for error here. Not as big of a mistake rolling out on that as if there were 3, 4, or 5 other stones in play.
Yeah, this is a different type of end than we've been seeing. As soon as Germany threw that first rock in the rings, Japan had the choice to make. They could throw the corner guard and try and create some offense, or they could hit and keep things simple, and they elected with the hit, and things have been pretty simple throughout the end.
It was nice, gave us a chance to break down a few different slides. Little curling 101. Right to the top part of the house. That one's first to this third end.
Hey.
Yeah, and so for all you young players out there like Go Aoki, take some video of yourself and watch yourself throw the rock. Really know what you're doing, and you too can have a delivery just like that.
So right on the nose, just one stone in there. Baumann heading down for his final shot of the end. He's trying to improve on his record and placing. Finished 12th in 2016, 10th last year in Edmonton. Obviously, with that trend, he would be 8th here. Got some work to do there, as they sit at 1 and 8. Coming in right now.
Yeah, and they were at the Olympic qualification event, hoping to play in the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, where they finished 7th. And again, they had really close games throughout, and they just couldn't quite finish them. And you can feel with every successive championship that Alexander Baumann is getting more confidence and playing stronger and stronger.
Good.
Actually, an interesting spot to roll to because it's on the side closest to the fans and the spectators. Been a little bit of a straighter spot. See if changes up results of this one. Go Aoki.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think when it's in this kind of a spot. And it looks like they've got the hit and roll out without a problem. So as soon as they chose to play that hit on the opening stone, Japan was going for the blank, and they execute that. We are still tied 1-1. Japan retains the hammer in the fourth.
普通のトップ6秒今6半ぐらい多分
Well, a good-looking crowd here at the Orleans Arena. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. The 3-6-1 World Men's Curling Championship 2018. 1-1. Single each side, a blank end. And we'll see how Germany goes about here. This fourth end, they start in the house again. They want to go top 4 foot.
Yeah, it's pretty simple tactical choices for Germany. They're tied. They do not have the hammer. They get kind of a free shot here in this opening one. They want to put that right in the top of the 4 foot. Schweizer's rock lands in a nice spot. And it's a bit of a curious choice for Japan.
See the tournament numbers, 85%. Aoyama.
They think that rock is too good, so maybe they'll employ what's called the delayed corner. This is an opportunity in these home ends for Japan to really try and use the hammer, go for those 2 points.
Sebastian Schweizer.
Ja, 10.
Little tight.
Was geht? Komm. Komm, Dani, drück.
Oh, but the miss there from Germany leaves that one in. Can draw to the other side. Lie 2, you can throw a corner guard. As they do that, we'll look over Sweden and Russia. Sweden lying 2 in a perfect forced position. Alexei Timofeev. In turn draw.
Yeah, he needs a bit of the 8 foot to hang a point on the board.
Well, Russia, real big sweep. Right into the 8 foot. Get the single point, so 3-1. They're through 3 ends over there.
And we take a peek at Italy, United States. United States putting some pressure on the last stone thrower for Italy, Amos Mozaner. There's a bunch of U.S. yellow stones in and around the rings. Italy needs a bite of the 4 foot. And that stone comes to rest in the back, but it is shot. And it's all tied up, 1-1 for Italy and the United States.
So both of those teams with 6 losses. They're still in that potential where you run the table, you get to 6-6, you never know what happens.
Yeah, there is a potential. They need every win.
So our feature game was the nose hit after a missed double from Ryan Sherrard. Didn't quite make it. So where do we sit right now? The playoffs were to start right now. Scotland and Sweden will get byes to the semifinals, being 1 and 2. Obviously, Canada playing one less game, but Canada, the 3 seed, would play Switzerland, the 6 seed, and Norway would play Russia, the 4 versus 5 qualifying games. See Ryan Sherrard, 84% here at the championship so far.
Yeah, and now the angle's difficult for the double. So they're going for a hit and roll here. Again, this is a bit of a tricky spot, and it is beautifully managed by Team Germany and Ryan Sherrard.
Seen that a lot more from teams here. especially in a tough spot. You throw quieter weight. Allow your sweepers to do some work with it. Overthrow it. You got nothing. See Ryotaro Shikuya 82% at the second position. Trying to go yellow to the red. And there's a mistake back. So these are the type of shots that you miss. You have a 2 set up. You play it a little loose.
Now this is Germany. Do they go for kind of like trying to set up the steal, or do they split the rings and go for the force? I think it's early enough you can go for the steal. The force is still possible.
Looks like a lot.
It's fine.
Daniel Herberg, 86%. I like this play. Still a lot of stones to be perfect with all those draws, and at some point there's going to be a double potential.
Let's go now.
And they are dragging this for line. Weight looks absolutely gorgeous. Do they have the line? Pretty good. They leave bit open.
Could be a bit of a teaser as well now, with it maybe just getting the edge of it protected.
I think it's time coming over, eh?
Look over Canada, China, and China putting the pressure on Canada here. Line 2. China coming off a disappointing loss this morning. They got down early to Sweden, never could come back, and were done in 6 ends. Canada, this is their first game of the day, and they draw for a single point to tie it up.
Line's good.
Line's good.
Line's good. T-line.
Put on a T.
And they navigate that port and tuck right around those Chinese stones in the top of the rings.
Yeah, nicely done.
Landed on the button for Brad Gushue and Canada. It's all tied up there.
Seen ours, the quiet hit. Stays in the open, but now there's that guard in play.
Yeah, and nice quiet weight here. Germany will have access to get to just the inside of nose and roll underneath that guard they put up. And this is a little heavier, but there it starts to bend. Maybe they're trying to hold it now and roll to the outside.
A good change of plan, and that stone will definitely run differently than the one thrown by their counterpart in Japan. More rotation and was more weight as well.
Yeah, so the more rotation you have on a rock, the straighter it runs and kind of the further in distance it goes. It holds its speed. Its rate of deceleration is a lot slower than a more slowly rotating rock.
Masaki Awai, 76%.
Okay. Hit and roll there. And they get the first part of it, right?
Okay. Nice job.
It's kind of like nose.
I like nose too.
What's that?
Oh, me too.
I like nose. That's what he says.
Nase ist gut.
Ja.
Ah, Roll wäre genau auf der T-Line.
Genau.
Da hinten ran.
Ja.
Well, thinking nose hit because you roll, you might go behind the tee line.
Yeah, and then that sets up a very small portion of rings and a possible freeze that you can't get to. So now you can see this is really the story for Team Germany here. Alexander Bauman's 71% tournament accuracy.
Yep.
Ball. Jump.
Yep.
Jump. Ball.
Okay. Good.
Good.
So exactly what they were looking for, the nose hit.
Freundlich.
So freundlich. Schön.
Go Aoki.
コントロール。OK。
個人的にはドローの方が自信あるんだけど。怖い怖い。
See if they can throw this one hard, try and get a flat roll.
ノーマルか。
Yeah, so they've called for their normal weight, and for Go Aoki, that's
吐くわ。
it's pretty up weight.
72%
OK。ゴーゴーゴー。
for the tournament here so far.
Quick. Go go. Yes. Quick. Quick. Go go. Yes. Yes. Hard. Whoa whoa whoa. Yes. Yes.
Well, hit. Now get the roll.
Whoa 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 whoa.
Wow. Right in.
落として正解国特攻だわ。
Go with the perfect roll right in behind.
Fantastic shot. And now
Muss man gar nicht. Wenn er da innen ist, ist er auch gut.
Alexander Baumann needs to freeze.
T-line finish good.
He also needs to be shot stone. It's very difficult circumstance.
Well, made the hit and roll. Can he set up the skips deuce? We'll see what Baumann has the answer for.
Might need a little bit.
Linie okay.
Linie. Wie lange ist er? Auf bisschen. Hart. Hart, alles. Hart, go, go, go.
They've got to drag it not just for weight, but for line.
Quick, quick.
It's not gonna get there. It's going to over curl as well. Come up short. Great effort, Schweizer and Sherrard, to get it that far.
Ich auch.
But leaves the forefoot wide open. Room to draw there for Japan to pick up the first deuce of this game.
So now downshifting for Go Aoki. He's got to throw that delicate touch weight draw.
No, no. あんまりしない。
Well, Japan got this one full 8 foot or better.
Yeah, they really are just going for the T line here for the sweepers.
OK, nice. 多分大丈夫。OK, nice.
Well, takes that curl late. Speed comes off. Back 4 foot. There's 2 for Japan. And they will
13.5。
take the lead through 4 ends. 3-1. Japan leads Germany.
13.5。ちょっとプッシュない分、長持ちの分で少し落ちてくれたね。
Das geht noch 1,5 Stunden. Circa. Ist dann aber auch wieder 5 Kilometer.
Well, the multi-purpose facility here in Las Vegas converted to curling. 4 sheets of curling put out on the arena here in Las Vegas, the Orleans Arena. 2 in the 4th end for Japan. They have a 3-1 lead now. We play the 5th. Germany trying to answer back. Both these teams losing records, and they're going to finish with losing records at this year's World Championship, but playing not just to finish for your national pride, learning experience, especially for this young Japanese team, but for not just your country, but your region. For Japan, the Pacific Asia. For Germany, it's the European nations that qualifying set up for the Worlds.
Yeah, the way global qualification happens in the sport of curling is it's done via zones. There's the Americas zone, which is North America, South America combined, the European zone, and then there's the Pacific Asia zone. And these teams are in real danger of losing one of the automatic spots for their respective zones. So having a tough go at this championship, and they're sitting at the bottom. They are desperately looking to be placed ahead of one or the other, and it's quite a bit of a responsibility on their shoulders. Right now, Japan's ahead by a game, but if Germany should win this game, they'd be tied in the overall standings, and the way the tiebreaker would ultimately go is that head-to-head matchup becomes key.
Yeah, and you look at Germany has Italy and Canada left. Japan has Switzerland and Sweden. These first 2 coming into the rings. Yutaka Aoyama.
So this is tricky placement underneath this corner guard for Sebastian Schweizer. He's got to sit pretty high in the rings. I think just full 12 foot. And the reason being is the way those 2 Japanese stones are lined up in the top of the 8 foot. You're going to need to attack those at some point. And if you sit in the right spot, the double runs right into it. And I think that is not a good location for Germany. It is partially under cover.
Yeah, it brings the guard into play.
Yeah. But you can see if they try the double takeout, one of the stones may run into and Japan is just by that corner guard, and they take care of business, and Germany needs to switch gears, and will switch sheets.
Canada, China, last stone here, Zhou Deja, the Chinese team facing 3. He was deep with his first one, went to the back of the 12 foot. Brad went just around the same path, so he'll have a good idea of this speed. You just have to navigate the port first. Chu on the sweep here, switching up now, trying to make sure they get through the port. And they're through right into the 4 foot. Nicely done by China. This is the Chinese team we expected to see, not the one that got blown away by Sweden earlier this morning. They lead Canada 2-1 after 4. Haven't seen a lot of teams have success in forcing Canada. They've done it already. They started the game with the hammer.
Yeah, I mean, the Canadian side that's here, they are the reigning world champions, and they are a tough team to beat. Canada getting all it can handle, really, from Team China right now. And Germany getting all it can handle from Team Japan in this end.
Both
Nope.
these teams, reason they're
You like that?
not doing that well with their last stone efficiency, scoring multiple points with the hammer. Germany, they've only scored 9 deuces this entire event so far, 1-3. Whereas a little bit more for Japan, they've scored 11, but not really the numbers you want to see. They're at 23% for Germany, 27% for Japan, scoring multiple point ends. A team like Canada is at 60%.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do with that last stone advantage, having that hammer, being able to generate multiple points. And Germany's going to take a look at their tactics and their rates of execution and try and come up with reasons why. And I think one of the things that we see with this German squad is that they just don't get those first 4 rocks of the end in really excellent and controlled positions. And what that means is the level of difficulty goes up and up and up for the subsequent players in the lineup. And you see that you've got a skip performing at 71% overall, and it's just a uphill battle the whole way. And Japan giggling their way through their tactical choices and setups. It's not unusual to hear that. They generate a lot of energy and connectivity with their joy of the game.
It's nice to see, especially a team sitting with a 2-7 record. There could be a lot of disappointment, frustration, anger. They will lie 3. They're in good position now, trying to get the 4s. Just that one guard out in front.
And Germany looking to kind of tidy things up here with a big cross-house roll. Herberg needs to take out the 1 stone underneath the corner guard. And
Roll over towards the other side.
oh, did they go right through the hole? Oh, that's just, quite frankly, that is unacceptable line call out of Alexander Baumann. If they had swept 2 brush strokes that runs into the rock in the back of the 8-foot, I mean, they're right off it the whole time. They're waiting for something to happen instead of playing the reality. And look at that, right through the hole. Again, 2 brush strokes. That would have been onto the back one and would have created a much more difficult situation for Japan.
Japan lying 2. Danger stone being that corner guard.
Yeah, and that is the good news for Germany. They did open up the path underneath that corner guard with that hit and roll.
それは怖いね。それはちょっと嫌な感じだね。それは怖いね。
これが案外弱いんだよね。
うん。あ、普通にこれいいと思う。まあフリーズされたらまたフリーズする。
ピールは弱気か。てかバンパーで打てるから。
ピールは弱気だ。ピールはいらん。ワンツーもワンツースイッチつけば。
ここドローでも
そこまでいなくても多分赤にかけときゃ大丈夫。ロールされたら嫌じゃん。白。
まあね。悪か。
半見せぐらい。
どうする？
ほぼ見せないぐらいがちょうどいい。
なんかさ、
安全に行くなら前割りだよね。
まあじゃなくても多分フリーズに来るから。
Conversation on the ice, conversation on the bench.
Yeah, the bench is preparing for. The bench is always preparing for the situation of when your team uses their timeout.
相手に1点あげるんだったらもうそれ割っちゃった方がいいと思う。自分らで1点取れて1点スチール狙いに行くんだったらまあセンターガードもありだと思う。
取らせていいと思うな。
まあ完全に取らせるのはこれだけどね。でもここ来ちゃうと面倒くさいからね。
うん、パーなんて方がいいと思う。
これよりかはピールかな。
まあね。ここ来られてると嫌だからね。
これとかも嫌だし当たっても。
ここ置いとくか。置いとく。
オッケー。
置いとこう。
はい。
ちょい広い。
ティー前でしょ。
これぐらいでいい？
いいよ。
To me, it seems the worry is that the corner guard is still available for Germany to use in the end.
Yeah, that is definitely a danger stone for Japan, but They also have a stone in the back of the 8-foot that Germany can freeze to that's in the open. What you want to do with this stone is create a situation that Germany is looking at 3 Japanese stones with good separation, where double takeouts are very challenging, and that Japan leaves themselves a rock that they might be able to use. So you don't want this one too deep in the rings. I think you want it above the tee line. Full 8-foot.
Okay.
And that rock ends up in a nice spot. And Germany going to look for that shot across the house again. Alexander Baumann now looking at it saying, we
I like the freeze here. Use some of those stones and play. Always tough generating offense by playing the hits.
Yeah, the freeze is difficult enough. The hit and roll is another difficult shot. But Germany going with the freeze. I like this option. This puts a lot more control into the sweeper's hands, allows them to participate in making the shot. And it's okay if Germany bounces a little bit. Wow, what a great shot. Nice adjustment by Herberg. Great sweep by Sherrard and Schweizer. And going through their directives from their skip and vice skip. Yeah, so Japan just needs to really just hit on the nose and move the freeze to them. It's, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. It's an open takeout on the nose. There's no double available. Oh, this is absolute disaster potential. This is how Germany can score 3 on you. I mean, it's a way to also make a hero shot. He's trying to run, I think, double takeout.
I think he at least get the one because he has the angle by slashing this one in.
The reward's significant, but the risk is...
The reward's making the raised double.
What am I worried about?
Exactly.
With Go Aoki holding the stone, all shots are relatively simple. What a shot from the 18-year-old, the high school student on his spring break.
What'd you do on spring break? I went and played at the World Championship.
I made angle slash double takeouts with precision and ease.
Wow, well done there. If you're gonna call it, you go make that.
That's just a beauty of a shot.
Never ceases to amaze.
Yeah, what a future Go Aoki has in the sport of curling.
Laying is good.
So after all that, now Alexander Baumann still trying to set up a deuce. This time would be a skips deuce.
Yeah, and this is starting to curl really hard. Remember, it's got to get by the yellow stone that's in the 8 foot.
Hard on the yellow, really hard.
Is it always the same?
Thinking it's the rock?
Nee. Aber es ist immer der erste.
Dives to the side. They end up tapping that one.
Okay. Nee, dann.
Yeah, last one was the last one.
A long discussion here for Japan. Something as well. The timing they'll have to deal with as well. A lot of discussion on these shots.
Okay.
Yeah, they are, granted, remember, we saw those rules of play, 38 minutes of thinking time. And that means your clock runs while you're having these discussions, while you're thinking. And Japan has used almost all of the 38 minutes in every game they've run to completion.
Well, they're almost 3 minutes. They're over 3 minutes less than their opponent.
Yeah, they're still fine in the overall scheme of the game, but if you do this on a regular basis, shot after shot, end after end, it starts to eat up your clock, and you'll have to play with kind of speed curling towards the end of the game.
So, Aoki, his final shot.
Just trying to draw that top 8 foot.
Interested that they decide to play towards their shot stone. Well, they leave it a little bit short. It's going to be third shot.
Yeah, and does a nose hit get you second count?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Looks hectic.
Just nose. Just off nose.
yeah, so just
It'd be
nose,
very
just
close.
off nose.
Okay.
A chance to tie up this game. It is a tough shot. It's a double takeout.
Can't see. Got to cross the nose just a hair, it seems. With quiet weight, because your shooter can't go very far. Baumann, his last, will spill off the back. Will they make the double that way?
Oh,
Almost gets very fortunate to get the deuce.
One red. Yeah.
Playing a little pinball. And it will pinball for just a single point. But Germany gets the score. They'll trail 3-2. We'll head to the fifth end break. Well, first end, after a little tap by Germany, was good enough. Forces Go Aoki. Draw right to the button. Has to move it just a little bit. Just a little bump, little roll. Right on the top of the button for a single point to start off this game. And second end, after Japan does their job making the hit, forces Baumann go out with the in-turn draw. 8 foot or better. Yeah, no problem there for Germany. They will tie things up after 2 with the single point. Fourth end hit and roll made perfectly by Japan, and Go Aoki, he has a draw to the forefoot to get that second point and multiple points with the hammer. No problem there. Japan, first deuce of the game. And Germany thinks they may have the opportunity to try and make this double. Score 2 would be very close. Alexander Baumann needs it to curl up, comes off that red one. Does it spill off the back one? It doesn't roll it far enough for 2. They get lucky, they don't give up a big steal. They do get 1 though, and make it a 3-2 game after 5. Sweden, Russia. Last stone here of this 5th end. Niklas Edin, chance to score a deuce, extend their lead, 3-1 coming into the 5th end. 2-time world champ. As the out turn has to get past the front. Sundgren, Brana really going on this one. Trying to get it by the front. And that's one Edin would like to have back as he crashes on the front. And it is a steal of 1 for Russia to make it 3-2 after 5. As you see there at the bottom of your screen, that's Sweden, Russia's on sheet D. Start at the top, Germany, Japan, our feature game, 3-2, Japan leads. Italy trails the USA 2-1. Canada 4-2, doubling up over China. So we're halfway through session 16.
What he said.
Klotzen the rum.
Rennen und was heißt Klotz? Okay.
And taking a look at that overall statistics, the edge is definitely in favor of Team Japan in all factors of the game. But the most important factor is that scoreboard. They are up by a point and they will have the last stone advantage. They're doing a great job managing this game with Germany and forcing Germany into tough positions throughout. It's going to be a great second half.
Well, that's the World Championship trophy all the teams are playing for here in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA. It's the 8th time the USA has hosted the Men's World Championship. It's been 10 years since they last hosted, but this is the first time Las Vegas is playing host to this event.
Yeah, and it's pretty great timing considering USA is coming off a gold medal at the Olympic Games for their men's team, John Schuster and company. So curling fever happening in the United States. And there's definitely curling fever here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Speaking of curling fever, this Japanese team, good numbers for Aoyama.
Yeah.
Perfect on the game.
Pretty hot today.
Japan is a pretty hot commodity for curling right now. These guys, all their games being shown back home as well, and there's pressure on them there. When they finally got their first win, there's a sense of relief. Both their wins coming on the same day.
Yeah, and they had a big win against Team China. And it's always important to get comfortable playing the teams from your zone, from your region. It's really valuable because you will have to do battle against them before you get back to the World Championship.
So the center line guard, they come around a little bit short. So we put the number up. Was the curse on Aoyama?
It's still in a good position. Aoyama will get close to full marks for that, but
Linie sehr gut. Hat Platz. Hier.
We're all there. 7. Coming down 6.
not sure why Japan wouldn't be attempting a corner guard in this situation. This even ends in the second half of the game. That's maybe just a little naivete in how to approach activating that hammer.
Also going after that one in the rings.
Tough situation, that free guard zone.
Just touches it over. So they're looking to get rid of that one in the house. So early advantage for Germany here in this sixth end.
Yeah, it's the curse of the 100% graphic. But now it's an opportunity for Germany's Ryan Sherrard to put another guard up. They have a rock well positioned in the 8-foot. You can see there's the brush head of Skip Alexander Baumann. That's where they want that rock to stop.
Ja, Kalt 4. Da muss stehen bleiben. Scott right. Sitz. Scott.
So another guard, but that one over curls. There might actually be some of that one in the rings. Let's see, Shikuya 85%, higher than his tournament numbers so far. Trying to open the front up here, or just make the run back instead.
Right, if you're not going to make the double peel or the triple clear in front of the rings, you might as well make the run back and pick off shot stone.
フィールドが勇気持ってトップでいいよ。いやトップだったんだけどさ。
So still a few guards to use, and that was part of the reason they wanted to open the front. They didn't want to have any of those guards on the center line.
Line's
Die
good.
Linie.
Ja. Linie gut. 7.
Haarlinie.
7.
Germany trying desperately to get around these rocks. Do they make it all the way around?
Okay, Kalt.
They just tick the back one. But with great weight, they put that rock in a pretty good position still. It's half checked underneath that.
It's one of those tricky spots where it's partially protected. You can't see all of it.
ハック。Go go 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 go. Okay.
That worked out interestingly.
Yeah, that's not how you draw that plan up, but throwing that delicate weight created a nice opportunity there for Japan. They've got some control. They've got rocks that they can run back into the rings. And now Daniel Herberg, who is playing
1, 2.
2 par in this game.
2. You might have to go.
Ball Kalt 4.
Playing to his overall average.
2.
Schön. Scott.
Well, they're guarding it up, but the shot by Japan actually opened up some of the staggers of those guards. Now, blast a few things right now. You can try and run that yellow one in.
Just a good spot.
これやってもさ多分こっち絡むよね。そうなんだよね。
Open up the center is a pretty good idea here.
これはありで。そんな厳しくない。別にそっち後ろ飛んでけば全部行くからね。黄色い。これからも全然ここに来れば全然やるだけど。 まあこれやるならこれやるで。
とりあえず前綺麗でいいと思うよ。
これがね絡んじゃうんだよね、前切っちゃうと。
でも仕方ないと思う今は。一旦ここ綺麗に。2個あるのは嫌だよね。
オッケ
切れるときにシンプルでいこうもう。
シューターもこっち残るよね。
ー。シューターもこうだね。まあでもコーナーできることにあれはないよ。
センターが開けばとりあえず。あ、ごめんごめん。
時間が若干ないんだよな。
Looks like they're going to try and get quite a bit of granite moving here.
Look at the numbers on the game. Saki, 90%.
You knew he was going to have a breakout game at some point.
OK。
That worked out pretty good.
Yeah, they open up the center line. They do push one of the German stones into the rings, which that can be a factor, but quite frankly, it's really okay for Japan to score just even a single point here. They've got that 1 point advantage. They'd love to keep that last rock advantage in these even ends in the second half of the game.
2, 3.
Gleiche Länge.
Rein. Wow, Linie ist gut. 2.
Ja, 3. Spanngelbe.
3.
Hat einen leichten Tick.
3.
Hat einen leichten Tick.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yep. Okay, good.
So they play that, you know, just off the other guard.
Didn't want to stop, did it? Huh? Just didn't want to stop.
Well, and do you blast the guards or you try the run back?
Well, if you're on thirds rocks,
We'll run it back and kick that one under cover, take away the angle.
yeah, it's not in, it's still in a vulnerable position though. Germany's got a chance to run this rock, but it will open up the scoring area actually, even if Germany makes this little bit of a run.
I can't see the distance.
Japan will have access to just about the full 8 foot with their last couple of stones. Great run back by Iwai. And now Baumann needs a short little run. He's having a good game here, a solid game.
Baumann and his team trying to play for this force. The red, yellow.
It's already gone. I mean, he just wrenched that right in. That rock never had a chance.
And those are disappointing ones because not a high level of difficulty on that shot, just not a good delivery and good throw.
Anywhere on the outside.
Das spielt so schnell ab.
Yeah, as they go through what's going on here. So Baumann sets up, and it's just he pushes that softly just inside. That rock absolutely never had a chance. I mean, that missed by almost a full stone width, maybe a little more. So they've got to really analyze what went on there, and they're going to need a big shot from Alexander. He's got one more he's going to have to recover quickly, and Go Aoki and his Japanese side have a chance to put a lot of pressure on the German team.
88% for Go. Really could have been for Germany, could have been on anywhere on the other side of that rock, and they would have made that shot. And now try and capitalize. These are shots you need to make.
And that's the kind of production you're looking for from your skip.
勝負使えば出るけど多分無理やっても厳しいね避けちゃったイエスだって
Meinst du?
The double's available for Baumann.
Ich glaube, da kommt. Halt, für Teaming
Das sollte gut gehen. Denn?
Denke ich
About a
auch.
third.
Okay, quarter.
So remember, this is the exact same spot he just threw down. Same line. You know he's going to throw more weight. He took a little bit more ice. That's what he can see.
Not a lot there. That is pretty thin. Electing to try the big weight shot here. Alexander Baumann.
A better release, but again, a little more ice and a little more weight. And that runs stick straight. That's the double correction. It is a disaster in curling. So frustrating.
Ice is so different today. Eh? One curls and one doesn't. I mean,
Now that's a frustrating one for a team. Yeah, sweepers can't do anything to it. Just the big weight shot.
Okay.
Yeah, there's really nothing you could do with that one once Baumann got on the outside of that line. It never moved with that weight. And it leaves Go Aoki a wide open draw to the scoring area.
Trying to do it for the second time this game, multiple points.
And that looks pretty good for Team Japan.
It settles down, had all the rings to work with. It is the triple put on the board for Japan in the sixth end. Disappointment for Germany, no doubt, as Japan doubles their score. They're now up 6-2 after 6.
3点ね。いや、これ俺もガード悪かったわ。
いや俺のラッキーがあったからね
そうね。
俺もラッキーだった
さあ4差ラストエンド
Ja, kein Problem.